Hi, my name is Fatma, and welcome to the third episode of The Big Conversation. I have here with me Celine, who's the head of service and operations in MetLife. Celine, welcome to episode 3 of The Big Conversation. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah. So, Celine, can you give us just a bit of a background about MetLife?
Sure. MetLife is one of the leading insurance companies globally. We have about 100 million customers worldwide. We operate in 40 markets, including the UAE. I actually think we came here 65 years ago, so we've been
Oh,
here
wow.
for quite a while.
Yeah.
And we specialize in life insurance, employee benefits, annuities, and asset management. So when you think about it, essentially, we protect what matters most to you: your health, your financial future, and your loved ones.
Which is also a part of the conversation we're having here today because we're focusing on sustainability and environmental management. So, one of the questions that we have here today for you is, can you provide us an overview of MetLife's commitment to sustainability and environmental management?
Absolutely.
So, how does it play a role in MetLife?
So when I think of the things that we're doing on environmental sustainability, we're doing a lot and it's quite holistic. So I'll break it down into three different buckets. Right. The first being protecting our communities, and then resilient operations, and lastly is driving solutions. So when I'm talking about protecting our environment and our communities, those are things like reducing our carbon footprint.
Okay.
So MetLife made a commitment that by 2050, we were going to go to net zero greenhouse gas emissions, which is a very ambitious goal, but we're well on our way.
Yeah.
Some other elements that we have is tree planting, right? So I think since 2020, MetLife has planted like 1.6 million trees across the world. We, last year in near Abu Dhabi, we planted 550 mangroves. And then the last piece is, things like community engagement.
Okay.
Again, globally, we had 10,000 MetLife hours, volunteer hours of our associates, litter pickup. So even in the UAE and Dubai, we all came together on the weekend with our family and we cleaned up Kite Beach, we cleaned up Al Qudra Lakes.
Okay.
So a lot on those elements of kind of really protecting our
Yeah.
communities.
And again, you're trying to like embody more of like community commitments, people gathering together, and so on.
Absolutely.
And I think it's similar to what we're doing here in Davs. So. As you can see, like the UAE strategy, the world basically, we're trying to move towards more of sustainability management and environmental change with global warming increasing nowadays. So yeah, as Davs, what we try to do is also reduce our carbon footprint. We have reduced our carbon footprint, I would say, by 48%.
Okay.
We also try to, as much as possible, decrease our electrical and power usage, and again, like our water consumption and so on. So I do understand where you're coming from, and I think it is like a strategy that the whole world is going towards. And I think we're all, as a community, within DAV's premises, we're all trying to embody this.
Absolutely. And you mentioned kind of being more deliberate with your energy consumption and things like that. I think when I go to the other element that we have is that when I mentioned the resilient operations, that's specifically that. It's really ensuring that our buildings are LEED certified, that they're environmentally friendly, that we have zero plastic use.
Yeah.
So if you came a year or two ago, we would have had bottled water sitting here, right?
okay,
And
yeah.
now we switched to no bottles, no plastic. We don't even have plastic anywhere. So it's all based on a filtration. So it's those small elements that really make a difference for us as well.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for clarifying about MetLife and your like aim towards sustainability. I think our next question would be, what motivated MetLife to prioritize green initiatives and corporate responsibility within the life insurance industry?
So MetLife has always really been committed to, I think, sustainability in general. But to answer that question, I want to share with you MetLife's purpose statement.
Okay.
And MetLife's purpose statement is always with you, building a more confident future. And I really love that because it can mean a couple different things.
Yeah.
It can mean that MetLife is with you during your different life stages, your different needs, but it can also mean MetLife is with you and with the communities that we operate in.
Yeah.
And so, I mentioned we have a long-standing legacy. MetLife has been in operations for 156 years.
Wow.
We want to be in business for another 156 years. And the only way we can do that is by doing business responsibly. Okay. And by doing business responsibly, I means taking care of the community, taking care of the environment, taking care of our associates, our employees, and our customers.
And as you mentioned, I think it's not only, for example, such responsibilities within the headquarters, but your offices all around the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Actually, we have a very ambitious goal in the goal for 2,000 volunteer hours in here. So, and we're on our way for that. So
2,000 volunteer hours within like a month, a year?
Within the year. Within the year. For
okay.
here. For yeah. So
that's nice.
On that front, like I actually volunteered earlier with INJAZ. I don't know if you know INJAZ. It's part of Junior Achievement, so INJAZ UAE, and it's really about teaching financial literacy to the youth. And so I went to the National Charity Primary School, and we did that volunteering. It was very nice. So I think this is a great way to engage your associates, and as you mentioned, give back in terms of the communities.
Okay, that's nice. So, Celine, thank you for clarifying more about MetLife and giving us an overview of the community commitment and environmental change that you're trying to embody within MetLife. Can you just explain a bit further on how environmental considerations align with your strategy and business operations?
Sure. The simplistic answer is they're very much aligned, but I'll give you two examples of how being very focused on environmental sustainability was actually very good for our business. And I'll give you two examples in the UAE. The first was in 2019, where we realized that we were spending a very high amount on printing and posting all of our customer communication. So we were spending like over $1 million every year for about 600,000 pieces of customer communication. And when we took a step back, we said, this is quite expensive. It's not good for the environment. And it's not a really great customer experience.
Yeah.
So at that time, we spent a lot of time, energy, and resources to completely digitize all of our customer communication. Now, 1 year later, in 2020, you know what happened, right? COVID hit. And because we had digitized, it was a very seamless transition for us to go to working from home.
So I think you digitized at the right moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we had a significant, competitive advantage versus some of the other firms that didn't have that digitization. So again, we were able to serve our customers, and from that point, we've just enhanced, and we're focusing on digital adoption and a lot of different. So that was one where it was very good for us. And the second is, I want to talk about this building, right? So this very beautiful green building, where a couple of years ago we had an office transformation, and happy to say that now we are LEED Platinum status. So this is brand new. We just got Platinum. And so for those that don't know, and I will be very honest, I didn't know this until recently.
Oh, what is it?
LEED
Platinum
is a global certification, and I think it stands for Leadership in energy and environmental design.
Okay.
And it's basically a report card on how green are you, how good for the environment is your office.
So Platinum is the highest
It's
level?
the highest. We got the A+ score.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
yeah, we're very proud of that. And it looks at things like, your energy consumption, your air quality, your light. And so amazing that we got this. And I think we are the first, we're the first country in Europe, Middle East, Africa to get this. So again, it was a bit, it's quite a big achievement.
And does this platinum status, for example, does it cover all of your business operations, all of your offices around the Gulf, or is
it's just this one? I think this one, and I think we have another DIRA office that's LEED Gold certified. But going back to how it aligns with our strategy, so we have this beautiful office that's very good for the environment.
Yeah.
And what we saw is people like coming to the office now, right? We have flex work, but it's much more engaging when you walk in. People collaborate more. There's more sunlight. And what we've seen is that our employee engagement scores increased substantially since the office transformation. And this year, we just won UAE Great Place to Work. Right.
Wow.
So yeah, we're very proud of that as well.
Okay.
So again, listen, if it wasn't for this office transformation that was LEED, that we did with the intention of becoming more environmentally friendly, and if it wasn't for these things like all the volunteerism and the community engagement, I think that has such a big impact on being able to win this award and the
Yeah.
engagement of our employees.
I think also it also increases your employee satisfaction.
Exactly.
It also increases their productivity at the work. So I think it's not about the design of the place. It's also about how it impacts the employees.
Absolutely. And you know, there's studies that say if you have happier employees, they actually give better service to your
Yeah.
customers, right? Because it translates.
They're gonna want to work.
Yeah,
Basically.
absolutely. So that's another example that I want to highlight. Maybe I also want to talk about. I feel like consumers expect it now for their companies or the business or the businesses that they partner with have sustainability efforts, right? So I want to maybe talk about a market research that we did a couple years ago, where marketing did research on all of our key markets globally, right? And talk to all of our customers about what do they care about insurance, right?
Yeah.
Well, why, what do they want from their insurance company? And what we saw was, okay, we want you to be simple, we want you to be transparent, flexible. But one of the top things they wanted was to do business with a sustainable company. I was shocked that that was one of the top things,
Yeah.
but you see that that's more of an expectation, and consumers want to do business with companies that align with their values. So again, in that sense, it's also really great
So it's
for
not
business.
just about your services, but how you operate internally.
Absolutely.
So when you explained about how MetLife doesn't only embed greenery into their offices, but also try to engage community, increase its employee satisfaction through through LEED certifications, through embodying sustainability within the offices, I would say that also applies to DAVs. Not only our headquarters, the Dubai Airport Free Zone as its own, but also all of the clients under Dubai Airport Free Zone. So currently we have more than 2,800 companies within DAV's premises. And I would say all of these different office buildings, we have around 18 office buildings, they all have solar panels. So I would say it's not something that we only do for DAV's employees, but also for DAV's tenants and clients. Okay. We try to make sure that the water consumption, the electricity usage, the carbon footprint has all decreased within our premises. And we also try to come up with new initiatives, not only for DAVs, but also maybe collaborate or partner with our different clients and tenants to go towards a more sustainable, or environmental change, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're aligned when it comes to the environmental management and aligning that with our business operations. So Celine, what's next for MetLife? How can DAV support your sustainability vision for the future?
So I think in regards to what's next, I think we want to continue to be a role model in terms of not just the insurance industry, but the overall market, and how do we want to really prioritize environmental sustainability.
Yeah.
So I think what's really encouraging is that MetLife's vision really aligns with the UAE vision.
Yeah.
Specifically, I think the 2030 green agenda for the UAE, the work that you have spoken about for Dubai Airport Free Zone. Again, so I think it's about building those strong partnerships and really making impact for the future generations.
Yeah, and of course, DAVs is always here to support MetLife, not only MetLife, but also all of our tenants. So looking into different, for example, initiatives, partnerships, collaborations, for example, within the near future, just to support not only your business operations, but our business operations, we're always open to collaborative opportunities with MetLife.
And I love that. And I love, it's not just sometimes what you do, but it's also how the noise you make around it, right? And the impact in terms of the culture shift and the mindset. And that's why I love this podcast. I love that it's focused on sustainability.
Yeah. And it's not just something that would benefit your industry or our industry, but also it could set an example for other industries or other markets as well. So you can always be a lead, for example, into starting something where other markets can also, look into it as an example and move towards sustainability, I would say.
Absolutely. And again, it's about role modeling. So I can't tell you how many vendors that we have had in the office that have said, oh my gosh, this is an amazing, right? And it's LEED, at that point it was LEED Gold. Oh, can you give us more information? We want to do the same for our employees.
Yeah.
So it's also by showing that example and sharing that knowledge.
Yeah, of course. Plus, it's not just in the knowledge sharing, but also because everyone else right now, when you want to work with other companies, they look into your background for sustainability management and whether you're environmentally friendly or not, or whether you're taking into consideration different environmental changes and like initiatives. So it's not something I would say that only impacts us, but impacts the whole world.
Yeah.
And we're here to support whenever MetLife requires any support or partnerships. I think DAVs is more than happy to be part of any initiative.
Perfect. And I love what you said about kind of looking at the industry because, what is best in class today is not going to be best in class in the future, right?
course.
So you need to continuously up your game. You need to
Yes.
continuously focus on what's next. So I think through these partnerships, we'll be able to drive
Yeah,
that.
of course. Yeah,
Wonderful.
I have to agree. So, Celine, thank you so much for being here with us today and giving us a background and an overview of MetLife and your business operations towards sustainability management. And thank you all for listening in. Stay tuned for more.